So I suppose you just let black men marry white women?
Well, they do so in France, and it has caused no calamities.
You can marry outside your race in France?
Well, the south of France was ruled by black men at one time, as was Spain and Italy.
Black men ruled Europe?
For 800 years. It's true.
History is a lie. Let's see how another English queen was described. Philippa of Hainault. From Chaucer and His England, page 181. Quote, "She was Queen of England, wife of Edward III. The document itself, which is in Norman French, runs as follows. The lady whom we saw had not uncomely hair, betwixt blue-black and brown. Her head is clean-shaped, her forehead is high and broad, and standing somewhat forward. Her eyes are blackish-brown and deep. Her nose is fairly smooth and even, save that it is somewhat broad at the tip and also flattened, yet it is no snub nose. Her nostrils are also broad, her mouth fairly wide, her lips somewhat full, and especially the lower lip. Moreover, she is brown of skin all over, and much like her father. And in all things she is pleasant enough as it seems to us." End quote. In this illustration she is depicted blonde, while as we read her hair was in between blue-black and brown. And of course her skin is fair, not brown like she is described. Just another indication that this illustration is not historically accurate and was made or repainted after the rise of white supremacism. Much like the two queens we previously covered, the writers don't shun her for her skin color, nor claim it's exceptional that someone who looks like her is Queen of England. That's because people of brown and dark complexions were not abnormal in Europe, especially among nobility. Philippa's mother was Jeanne de Valois, the granddaughter of King Philip III of France. We found that many believe the further back you go in history, the more racist white people were, but that's simply not true. Of course, xenophobia always occurs among homogeneous populations, like early Rome, for example. However, during medieval, late medieval, and early modern times, people were primarily bigoted in religion and secondarily in politics. As we can see in this dictionary from the 1700s, bigot in religion and bigot in politics. These two social factors were the main points men grasped at for motivation during war. Skin color was noted, of course, like we just read, but it was not a point of hatred, as people cared much more about what religion, culture, and nationality a man or woman was. Like and share for more lost history, and that's why we say...
Shalom, 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 Israel. First and foremost, I want to give all honor, glory, and praise unto Yahawah, Ba'ashem, Yahawashai, Ba'ashem, Rakwakwadash, double honors to the elders and apostles, great millstone. Shalom to my Aki and Wakwafim, who are diligently waiting to be delivered from the spinal captivity, as well as a speckled bird that may look like the other nation, but are actually Yasharallah. This is Brother Kawa Cup Community with another lesson. Today's lesson is going to be on, this whole matter of the, Dark Ages. And I did hear about the Dark Ages. I forgot where and a lot of the information, but I did hear about it where they said, so-called black people were ruling at that time. That's why it was called the Dark Ages and stuff like that. And one of the things for me is I find it so funny how I find it so funny because I'm pretty sure, I don't know, it's so weird to say, but my main thing is just in general, like our history as so-called black people, it's never anything like this. It's never like spoken on. It's always just whitewash. Like that's basically the reality of it for us, where you have these people that changed it. Oh, and that's another that was another thing where they had painted all of the features of these historically black figures white. Even with the Sphinx, it's like, why is the Sphinx? Why is only the nose for the Sphinx? That's what Cat Williams said. You got the nigga nose for the Sphinx. How do you spell Sphinx? Only the nigga nose of the Sphinx is destroyed because they couldn't fathom it being a nigga nose. All right, a so-called black person's nose. And over here, I think this is what they try to do to make it so that yeah, it was a white nose, it wasn't this. You guys need to just believe it. It's just our source is just us. Like, just trust us. We're the experts. We're trying to do that. But who's the expert that's actually doing it? It's the fucking so-called Edomites. All right, so-called white people. All right, they're the quote-unquote experts that's trying to push this on you. All right, but again, it's just like, out of all the things, instead of just ripping the entire head off, they fucked up only the nose. All right, because that would feature would be so. As a matter of fact, yeah, that feature would be too telling. Oh, the so-called black people are the people are these people and all that stuff. All right, that's what they are trying to hide. All right, now a thing about this is, let's get this. Jeremiah chapter 16 verse 19. O Lord, my strength and my fortress and my refuge in the day of affliction, the Gentiles shall come unto thee from the end of the earth and shall say, surely our fathers have inherited lies, vanity, and things wherein there is no profit. And this is a thing that's going on right now, where people are, Esau has pushed lies. Let me also get this. Hold on. Job chapter 13 verse 4. But ye are forgers of lies, ye are all physicians of no value. They literally concocted this lie. All right, they made all this shit up just to say, oh look, we're the great people, we're this great people, we're this, we're that, or whatever. Egyptians were so-called white people. Oh, back then the Israelites were white people. Back then this, that, and third were white. Back then X, Y, and Z. You have all this shit pushing everything. They're always trying to push their we were actually the people all those years ago. We were all actually all that stuff. It's just like, oh well, it doesn't make any sense that an Edomite is fucking, what's it called, living in Egypt, all right, in Africa, all right. That's what that's the shit that they're trying to push, because and Slakia, I just want to point out, because one of the biggest things is that Esau tries to push, and he concocted this lie that the Israelites were so-called white people. And the thing about that is that it falls apart if the Egyptians were so-called black people. But the Egypt, I forgot what I was about to say. It was is Egypt mostly white? That's not what I fucking meant, but come on. That's the thing. I shouldn't have. This is my problem. I shouldn't have asked, because again, this is a part of the narrative. This is a part of their plan where they so desperately try their best to incorporate in all of their information and media and whatnot, that Egypt, it's debatable whether the people were white and whatnot. Like, it's, and there you have a bunch of people that benefit from lying because it changes the narrative. It makes Esau out to be a liar. It does this, then the third, and stuff like that. Where we literally have to change it to. We have to lie. We have to make up all the stuff. We have to make it intellectually dishonest in order to push this narrative so that people won't say, "Oh, well, you lied." This is obviously the case. They are obviously so-called black people and stuff like that, and whatever. Because it's the desert, all right. Modern Egyptian skin tone, light to medium olive fucking complexion. That is so like ridiculous. In the fucking desert. Whatever, man. Like, yeah. I'm not gonna go into that shit because it's actually just dishonest. But if I let me get this. What percentage of Africa is dark skin? Oh wow, would you look at that? Ridiculous, man. 80% of Africa, but yet 80% of Africa has dark skin, but yet conveniently Egypt doesn't. But again, as I was saying before, the thing is that they have pushed out these lies in order to make it so that their story fits the narrative, and by extension, the story of the Bible, all right, which they push their Christianity, their version of Christianity, the anti-Christianity in it. It kind of corresponds because they try to say that Egyptians are white, so that when the Israelites lived in Egypt, and Joseph primarily, and I think that's the main one, but Joseph basically was able to pretend to be an Egyptian. It was also Moses, Moses as well. They were able to pretend to be an Egyptian and stuff like that. As a result of their skin tone, it falls apart because wait, hold on, how the fuck is a white person, if the Israelites were white at the time, how the hell is a white person passing off as an Egyptian how the hell is a white person passing off as an Egyptian if Egyptians were African, and by extension Africans were mostly black? All right, like that was basically the thing, because it just does not make any sense at all to go by that logic. All right, that's why they do what they do. They lie, they cheat, they push their stuff. They made all these lies, try to make it as flawless as they could, but yet they still failed. All right. Now, John 8 verse 44: "Ye are of your father the devil, and the lust of your father you will do. He was murdered from the beginning, and abode not in the truth, because there is no truth in him. When he speaketh a lie, speaketh of his own, for he is a liar and the father of it." All right. So this is Esau, where he lives, breathes, and always just vomits lies. All right. Damn near everything he says is a fucking lie. All right. Romans 1 verse 25: "Who changed the truth of Yahweh into a lie, and worship and serve the creature more than the Creator, who is blessed forever. Amen." And that's the thing. Even when it comes to a lot of the stuff, all right, Esau, he does not care about Christianity. One major thing is that rather than following after the Bible, like they say, the Bible is a Christian book, which I've heard that shit before, and I'm not gonna lie, that is just wrong. It's wrong. All right, Christianity is not based off of what the Bible says. It's something and I've talked about this before. I made a lesson on this before. It's a Nicolaitan. Christianity is a Nicolaitan thing where they say, oh, well, because we're under grace, we don't need to worry about all those laws. We don't need to worry about any of that stuff. So we're fine. We're good. Slakia, that was just some stuff. And it's a lot of references to my older videos. But yeah, because I've done a lot. I've done a lot on these types of stuff. But I pray this lesson was edifying. I want to give all honor, glory, and praise unto YAHAWAH, Hashem, YAHAWASHI, Hashem, double honor to the elders and apostles, great military, Shalom.